Yo guys, what is going on? It's Lukey here and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the best PKM class for Warzone. Now before I do get into today's video, if you guys could subscribe and leave a like on today's video if you do enjoy it, that'd be absolutely amazing. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. So the class setup I'm going to be focusing on is going to be the PKM, and the first attachment is going to be the monolithic suppressor, the 25-9 heavy barrel, any sight of your choice, 200 round bout stippled grip tape. Now this weapon, it's gonna have pretty low mobility, so there's gonna be a few different options you can obviously change with this class. For example, you can of course go ahead and take the 200 round bout off, and maybe you can stick a stock on instead, maybe the no stock attachment, because this is gonna boost the mobility up by quite a lot. Now, if you guys have used this weapon, you guys will probably know it is a slow weapon. It is slow, I'm not gonna lie, it is one of those slow weapons. So I do recommend you guys maybe having a little bit of a play around with the attachments and finding some attachments that you guys like. Also, the sight on this weapon is quite a big sight, and it does take the mobility down by quite a lot. So of course, I know every single person has their own favourite little sight that they use. For me personally, the hybrid sight on the PKM is very good, because you can have a close range one and you can have a long range one, so it's nice to swap in between both of them. But if you guys want to, you can stick on any other one that you guys like to. The Viper reflex one is good, the monocle reflex sight is also very good. So yeah, you can of course go ahead and use whatever you guys want to, but personally this is the class up I've been using on the screen now. Now the secondary I have been using is going to be a little bit of a different secondary that some of you guys aren't going to be using very much, but it's actually really underrated. So I recommend you guys using the .357. On this weapon I use the snake shot, the akimbo, the first barrel, the second laser, and then I use the lightweight trigger as my trigger attachment. This is actually a super underrated weapon, and it's super good for close ranges. However, I do actually recommend you guys picking up maybe an MP7 off the floor, or maybe once you kill an enemy, I recommend you guys picking up a SMG as your secondary weapon and actually not using a sniper with this class. And the reason for that is because obviously, like I said before, this is quite a slow weapon. The mobility isn't going to be too high. Anyway, the perks, I use a cold-blooded, ghost, and then battle hardened, and then I use the C4 and the heartbeat sensor as my lethal and tactical. So back to what I was saying before, and that is going to be to link this weapon up with something like an MP7. Now if you guys really want to, you can use an overkill perk and obviously make your own MP7 class as the secondary weapon, but personally what I recommend you guys doing is using the ghost, so you can stay off people's heartbeat sensor and you can stay off the minimap if anyone calls in a UAV. So personally, I do like to use Ghost instead of Overkill, and then I can obviously be a bit more stealthy, and then I can just wait until I find an SMG or something to pick up. So this is what I've been doing quite a lot, and I do recommend all of you guys doing it. So instead of actually using a sniper as your secondary, or using the overkill perk, because in my opinion the overkill perk is a massive waste of a perk, because as you guys know, especially if you play solos, every single person has a heartbeat sensor on, and especially in the final circle as well, every single person is literally sitting in the corners with a heartbeat sensor waiting for you to just appear on their heartbeat sensor, and then they will come up behind you and get a really easy kill on you. So personally, like I've just been saying, I recommend you guys using Ghost on your class, and then instead of overkill you can use a pistol, and then just wait until you kill someone and pick up their weapon. So a few little tips I want to go ahead and talk about in today's video about this weapon and using this weapon. One of them is going to be to pre-aim. Now the reason I say this is simply because of the fact that it takes so long to aim in. So if you do have a weird feeling that there is someone going to be camping in a corner, or there's going to be someone in the building, or there's going to be someone camping behind a tree or something like that, or if you know there's someone there because you can see them on the UAV, I recommend you guys personally just making sure you do pre-aim your weapon before you actually see them, because if they do have an MP7 or if they have like an M4A1, they're going to probably aim in a lot quicker and they're going to get their shots on target really quickly. So I do recommend you guys pre-aiming quite a lot with this weapon, and that is also the reason I recommend you guys going ahead and making sure you have a SMG or an assault rifle as your secondary weapon. At those close combat gunfights, you are going to want to go ahead and use a different weapon such as an SMG, etc. Now if there is a bunch of enemies all in the same area, then what I like to do is use my PKM, because like I said, you have 200 rounds in this weapon. 200 rounds in this weapon is going to obviously mean you're going to have a lot of bullets, and with those bullets you're going to be able to kill a lot of people. You can literally wipe out 2 whole entire squads with this weapon, and you're still going to have bullets left over in your magazine. This weapon is super powerful, and it's actually extremely good at those long ranges as well. It doesn't have too much recoil on it, it does have a little bit, so I do recommend you guys stick it on a nice sight that you are comfortable with using. But yeah, at those close combat kills and those close combat situations, I recommend you guys making sure you have some kind of SMG as your secondary and going ahead and swap into that SMG if you know you have to be quick. But if you can take your time, you can obviously use your PKM. The PKM is one of those weapons where you use at those kind of medium distance kills, and you're going to have a lot of like power behind you. So what I mean by this, it's going to be a super powerful class. So let's say for example you are playing in squads, you're going to be able to put a lot of cover fire into a certain place. So let's say for example you're in the final circle and maybe you have to push a certain place. Now this sometimes is going to be annoying because you don't have too much bullets in your weapon, and obviously they're going to just camp on a head glitch. Now literally what I do with this weapon sometimes is completely spray at the enemies because it scares them. It makes you think that it makes them think that they can't move, and they get scared. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they literally just get scared of the weapon because obviously you're going to be putting 200 bullets in their direction, and they're just going to be scared. They're not going to want to move, and whilst you're doing this, your teammates could be doing something else. You could be distracting them, and your teammates could be flanking them around the back. So that is another reason this weapon is super nice to use. Now another thing that this weapon is kind of bad at, there is a few disadvantages of using this weapon, and one of those is going to be the reload speed. When you reload this weapon, it is going to take you quite a while. It'll take you about 5 seconds or so, I'm not even joking. Like, it does take you quite a long time to reload. So when you do reload, you're going to have to make sure you are completely safe. Now this can sometimes put you at a disadvantage because if there's a whole squad of SMGs rushing you and you have to reload your PKM, this is going to be, obviously it's not going to be good because you could end up dying pretty much instantly. So it can be quite annoying if you do have to reload. Now you can go ahead and counter the reload time with sticking on a sleight of hand perk if you want to, or you can use a smaller magazine size. So instead of using the 200 round drums, you can use just the default 100, and this will increase your reload time up by just a little bit. It's not going to be a tremendous difference, but it will actually help in quite a lot of circumstances. So I do recommend you guys just have a little play around. Honestly, just have a little bit of a play around with your attachments on this weapon. Every single person obviously has their own playstyle, so this class setup might not be good for some people. The playstyle you guys are going to want with this class is going to be quite passive aggressive. So what I mean by this is you're obviously not going to want to rush, you're not going to want to run around, you're not going to want to charge into buildings where you know there's people at. You're going to want to be patient, you're going to want to wait for enemies to kind of rush you. So you want to play smart and you want to wait for the right time to attack. Now I know that sounds a bit stupid, but if you're using, for example, like an M4A1, then you're probably just going to be like, if there's someone camping in a building, you're probably going to be that kind of person to run in there and just try and get that kill. But with the PKM, it's better to just be patient and wait for them to make their move. Anyway, that's been it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more Warzone content. I will be uploading every single day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.